Howdy, I'm David Gaskin, one of the founding members of Maverick Regional Anesthesia Education, along with Dan Nash and the late Hank Doherty. We thought it was important to not only introduce ourselves to you, but let you know a little about Maverick, where we came from, how the outstanding regional teaching platform we have now was developed, and where we see Maverick going in the years to come. Dan and I began working together in 1999 in College Station, Texas. We both have had a fascination with regional anesthesia our entire careers and sought out every opportunity to do a spinal, epidural, or peripheral block. The late, great Hank Doherty would tell students the most difficult thing about doing regional blocks is getting the opportunity to do a regional block. Well, Dan and I were lucky enough to work in a practice with lots of respect and autonomy, surgeons who wanted blocks on their patients, and anesthesiologists who were more than willing to let us do anything we wanted as long as it worked. We did thousands of blocks in those early years and learned from older CRNAs, a few conferences, but mostly from our own experiences. As the years went by, Dan and I realized a couple of things. First was the fact that we were becoming very skilled at regional blocks. And secondly, that most CRNA students train in facilities that limit or actively prevent them from doing blocks. We established a clinical site through Texas Wesleyan University, hoping to provide more instruction and opportunities for the students. We must have been successful because we were asked to give lectures on regional to all their students, speak engagements at multiple state conferences, requests for regional workshops, and instructing several rural CRNA groups on site followed. We came to realize that working CRNAs needed and wanted to incorporate regional into their practices as well. So Dan and I committed to give back to the profession that's been so good to us. We saw a need and a desire and started Maverick in order to reach more students and working CRNAs. We sought out Hank and his extensive knowledge of ultrasound to round out our program and implemented advanced teaching methods to make our program as realistic as possible, with the expectation that every student would leave prepared and confident to safely go back to their workplace and begin doing blocks. In those early years, I'll have to admit that Dan and I were quite assertive and bold in our enthusiasm for doing blocks. Some in our group were, let's say, less than enthusiastic about our approach. We were frequently called cowboys, and we saw great humor in this, deciding to name our company Maverick, with the hope that every CRNA or student would be as assertive and bold in seeking new knowledge and skills that will broaden and enhance their practice and our entire profession. So, look at the program and see if it's right for you. But even if you don't utilize our program, always be a Maverick.